Welcome to Lessons Learned. I'm Sherry. This is Monday Quilt Chat. Come on in. We're going to talk about all the quilty things in my world and in the quilt world in general. So this weekend, yes, I leave you each Friday telling you what I'm going to do for the weekend, and then I just pick up where I left off, basically. So I said I was going to get into finishing the RBD block challenge. That's what I worked on. Did I get very far? I didn't get done, I'll tell you that. Here's what it looks like. So I had to make that center block, and then I put the sashing around it, and then all of that patchwork around it, I got the top and the sides done. I didn't get the bottom section done. I need to make more strip sets to finish that off. Won't take too much time. And then add the next border, the inner border, I guess you would call it. I have to put some sashing out of the background between all the blocks. So that's 4 rows of blocks basically. And then the outer border. And then as you see there, that makes it 65.5 by 65.5. It's kind of hard for me to show you that from here, so I will just save that till Friday. Maybe I'll have it done. I did get the Blues Batik quilt completed. I got it all bound and everything. So today, actually Sunday, which is today for me, I took all the photos for the eBay listing. The eBay listing will be live. It is live right now as we're speaking with each other. So put that up at 9 p.m. on Sunday. So it will end on 9 p.m. Sunday of next week. That is Eastern time. So think about that. Keep that in the back of your mind. If you want to watch the end of the auction, it's always very exciting to watch. So mark your alarms for, set your alarms for 9 Eastern, or whatever it is in your neck of the woods. If you're central, it's going to be 8. If you're mountain, it's going to be 7. If you're Pacific, it's going to be 6 p.m. next Sunday. I will have that eBay listing linked in this video in the description. So if you want to go over there, bring it up on your computer or on your phone, whatever, and share that with the world. Share that with all your friends and say, hey, look at this eBay auction. And this is what we're doing. It's for the Humane Society and all of the good stuff, and see if we can get as many eyes on that listing as possible, so that we can get as many bidders as possible, so that we can get a nice amount for that quilt. It did turn out to be 72 by 90, which is, from what I understand, considered a twin size. But either way, it's a nice big throw size for a couch. It would fit on a small twin bed, probably not one of the extra long twins. I'm not sure how long those are, but 72 by 90, so it's not as big as the first Blues Batik quilt that I did, but I think it's more of a universal size for a quilt, and would be appealing to the masses. So yeah, it's beautiful. I took the photos, like I said, and it was a nice sunny day, and I think the photos just turned out great. So you can see all those photos out there on the eBay listing. So I did that, and we're excited about our first eBay auction, Humane Society donation of the year. Also, what else did I do? I think that might be all the sewing that I did, other than I did do this. I am participating in Blockheads 6, Moda Blockheads 6. So the first assignment is a block 1A and 1B. And they have these bars, 3 bars, and then This is called Regatta. It's supposed to symbolize sailing or something. And so this is the block that they had for us to do. I'm using my Tilda Hibernation scraps. And boy, do I have a lot of those. I think I had originally bought a fat quarter all of that line. So I had plenty to make the quilt that I made with it. If you remember, it was the Tilda Berry Wreath quilt. And I have all this left. So I think I could make the Blockheads 6 quilt out of this. The only thing I found in my stash that I really wanted to use, I wanted to use something a little different than just white or off-white for the background. So I'm using this, this is a Riley Blake piece that I had. It's a 3-yard piece, and I'm hoping it's going to be enough. They said 3 to 4 yards. And I'll tell you what it is. It's older. It's from 2021. Let me see here. There's a name on it. It's by Melissa Lee, and it's called Harmony. So it's kind of a crosshatch, kind of a basket weave looking thing. But I thought that went with the Tilda fabrics pretty well. And it's muted enough, like from back here, you can't really tell that that's, you know, a print. Once you put it in your blocks, it just kind of blends in really well with the fabrics. So I'm just going to use that as my background because that's what I had. That's what I had. However, I do have to admit, No Buy May has been a fail. It's not been a major fail, but it's not been what I dreamed of for No Buy May, as you've already heard, because, you know, I had to change the date range on it, but I even blew that. So I did good, but I didn't do perfect. So forgive me, all of you who were playing along with me and are doing so well. Your leader is not doing so well. But there will be another month. So if we do maybe August, I don't know, we'll see. As we get on into the year, there are some months that, you know, we don't want that restriction on ourselves. But at the same time, I have to say, this year I have done very, very well in controlling my spending. Remember Quilt Health 2025? I'm not going to talk about all of those things today, but I think self-control has done well, and spending smartly has done well, and all of the things that have to do with not overbuying on quilt fabric, quilt supplies, just things you don't necessarily need at the current time. And I will have to say, even the things that I bought this month that I shouldn't have been buying for as a no-buy are things that I am going to have an immediate need for. So it's not all lost. Because when you see a sale these days on something that you need, that's the time to buy it, because all of these things are going to start going up in price. All of them. Fabric, thread, everything. I saw, let's just go straight into recent acquisitions. Sorry about this noise. I'm opening a plastic bag with tape on it. Superior Threads had like a 30% off on some of the thread that I use for long arming, and I needed some variegated, and I know you're going to say those look all the same, but they're not. They're all very different from each other. And they were on sale for like $11 a piece, which they're smaller. The Omni regular threads are much more yards than this, than the variegated ones, but I still got them for $11.58, 60 cents, something like that. So I got 4 of them because I think, was there a buy so many and get one? I don't think so. I'm not sure. I think I probably just got 4 just to get up to the free shipping price. So look at this. It's called 9043. That doesn't help you any, does it? I don't have my card out here that tells the name of them, but these have 2,000 yards on them. So you can use these a couple, 3 times on the long arm, depending on what size your quilt top is and everything, right? But this has a lot of, you know, like neon, yellow, green, hot pink, a real bright, I'm not sure what that is. I think there's a couple of different pinks, a couple of different greens, a couple of different yellows. I could just be looking at it wrong, but it's very neonish. I thought this would look really good on Mark's quilt, that being the Tula Pink one that he just did, Pop Beats. I thought I might try this one on that one. Not sure, I might. This one has purple, blue, green, and yellow. Almost like, I think I've used this one before, 9003. I think it's just your overall basic multicolor. It goes good on anything. And then this one is 9035. I really wish I would have brought my card in here so I could tell you what the names are. It's not on here anywhere. But this one's a little bit more, I don't know, fallish, possibly. And then there's this one. This is 9044. Sorry about the light. And it is different from this one. This one has a little bit darker cast to it than this one. This one has more dark, is it purple? It has a darker green, and this one has a brighter green. That's the difference. But if you knew the name of them, you would be okay. That makes sense that has that name. But I didn't bring my card out here to read the names off. Those have just been sitting here, and I've been meaning to show them to you. So that was a recent acquisition that came in the mail probably a week or so ago. I still have many things. I still have maybe 3 mailings coming in that I just haven't gotten yet. Some of them were from Sewell's Alaska sales, one. And then, you remember that laser cut thing that I fell for? Yeah, I'll be getting that. That's not here yet. I have 4 yards of low volume whites, like white on whites, just to have in my stash. I have some white on whites in my stash, but one of them is a little cutesy, and the other one is a little more baby. So I don't know. I don't feel like I can just use those with anything. So I just got some regular white on whites that could be used for everything. 4 1-yard pieces. That's from Sewell. And then I have a couple, seems like 2 more things coming. Mark was short 1 strip on his yellow binding on ASTRO Journey, so I had to order some of that. I found it at Fat Quarter Shop, and so to get up to the shipping, I went ahead and got some other necessities that have yet to get here. So it's not anything out of this world, you know, wasting money just because it's pretty, but I didn't make my no buy very well this time. We'll have to do it again. We'll try again, won't we? Also got the Sew Sampler box, which that's not a part of no buy, because if you have a subscription to something, you can't just up and stop your subscription in the middle. So Sew Sampler box, I know a lot of you have already seen it, so I'll go through it really quick. But some things I've already pulled out of it. For example, I'll go ahead and show you. I have a project bag made up for this panel, and I'm waiting for embroidery floss because I'm going to embroider my Corey Yoder panel. I forget what it's called, but there's 20 of these blocks, and I'm just gonna, I've just got a couple of them ready. I've got all of them in here, but I only have a couple of them that are, the edges are sewn, and I can start doing my embroidery on it. But my embroidery floss is coming from Fat Quarter Shop, so I don't have any of that started yet. Plus, I think I told you that I'm participating in the A Bloom Designer Mystery, and I'm hoping to use my scraps from that, because they always give way more fabric than you need, to put with this in a simple pattern where I can just drop these blocks into a setting, and it might take me a while to get that done. It might take me a year to get it done. It might take me a year to get these done. I feel like I'm gonna be referring to this video in about a year. I hope I don't disappoint myself in what I'm telling you right now, or disappoint you. But I'm getting ready. That was in the Sew Sampler box. Get this though. There's more stuff in the Sew Sampler box to do with a bloom. Here's a Jolly Bar. A Jolly Bar. So in the Jolly Bar, we have this pattern with this fabric. Walk this way. So this can be made with this, along with 2 7/8 yards of background fabric, 5/8 yards for cornerstones and middle border fabric, and then binding and backing. Backing is 5 1/4 yards. So this little thing is 49.5 by 69.5. If you want to do what comes in this. So that was in the box. We also got our, and I've already pulled this out, we've already got our flowering block number 2, and I showed you that last week that I had that made. So I have to wait another month to get another one of these. They're great big 18-inch blocks. We got a Quilt Notes graph paper. There's 48 pages in here. It's just a little pocket version. The squares are super small, but if you're just doodling around while you're waiting at an appointment, you can stick this in your purse and dream up some quilt patterns if you want. The other pattern that's in here is called Gâteau. Here's a little bit better complete picture of it. And that is using that panel. So I'm thinking of doing the same kind of thing. I don't know that I'm using this. I might use something that Mark has dreamed up. And if I don't use the one he's got dreamed up right now, I'll have him dream up another one, or he and I can. Premium woven labels. So these are little labels you can put into your binding as you're sewing your binding on. And they say cute little quilt things on them. There's a bunch in here. 8. Good vibes always. Let's just look at these. I haven't seen them. Here's one like this. Here's one with little dog bones on it. This is cute. Handmade. A strawberry. A flower. Scissors. And more flowers. Those are cute. So you can just kind of, stick those in. They're embroidered, so you'll want to put that on the inside so you can fold them over like this, or like this. I think it's like this, and let that stick out of your binding on the back of your quilt, like right here. Just another little added thing you can put on there. Not for everybody, but I have done it to a few of my quilts. Just depends. Just another little cute add-on there. So that is what the Sew Sampler is. Cottage Garden. And the coupon is 15% off Moda yardage until June the 30th. there's a code on here. So I can't show you that code, but if you want to get a subscription to their box, then you'll have extra. They also publish an extra pattern to be used with the, well, it was the panel, but you could use this with it probably. It says Jolly Bar Dovetail Shortcut Quilt Pattern by Doug Lecco for Fat Quarter Shop. So yeah, you could actually use this Jolly Bar with the other pattern that's here. I don't know if I can show you that. There's some QR codes on here. Yeah. Alright, so that is that. Did I put everything back in there except this? Yeah. I don't know if I'll use this pattern or not. I might. You just never know. So that is the Sew Sampler box. I think that was everything that was in it. It's possible I took something else out that I'm using. I could have checked that card, couldn't I? Couldn't I have? I don't think I need these. That one's sticky. Okay. Another recent acquisition. Let's put this down here. I'm trying to keep track of what I'm doing. I have another very interesting recent acquisition. It's actually a Happy Mail. And it's from Veronica from Ontario, Canada, also known as Ronnie. She's been with the channel here since the beginning. But bless her heart, she sent me a whole box of goodies. These are Canadian goodies. She has a store or some kind of place near her where they sell Canadian goodies. And I just want to show you what she sent me because, oh my goodness, my mouth started drooling. If you remember, back when we were doing this, I made a joke about Vermont and sending me some maple syrup. Well, Vermont, I didn't get any maple syrup from you, which is absolutely fine. Don't send me any because Ronnie has sent me some. And it's from Canada. I'm sure it's all equally delicious. But I want to show you what Ronnie sent me. She sent me a whole little box of goodies. I have a maple cocoa mix. I have 2 of these. I have a maple and chives dip mix. Doesn't that sound interesting? Maple and chives dip mix. Don't you just love sweet and hot and, you know, spicy mixed together? Oh, it's so great. I have some bonbons, maple bonbons. I didn't open these. I want to see. I've been drooling over this box because I was like, I can't eat any of it until I show you all. Maple bonbons. Oh, look at this. They're little tiny maple leaves. Isn't that cute? Smells good. They're hard. They're like hard candy that are maple. I'm leaving one of those out. And then we have some suckers. She gave me 2 suckers. Maple syrup is the #1 ingredient. They're like this. I want to get started on that too. Now, here's the 2 big items. Maple sweet and zesty sauce. It says a perfect blend of maple sweetness mixed with chili seasonings to add some zest to your life. Oh, so good. So good. Yum. Can't wait to try it. This is maple apricot sweet heat. I'm telling you, Ronnie, you knew what I liked. Yum. This will be good. Me and Ernest were talking, you know, my quilting friend Ernest, we were talking about how this would be good on some sort of bread or cracker with cream cheese and a dollop of this on top of it. Oh, would that not be a delectable little hors d'oeuvre? Yeah, I would eat the whole plate. It says, excellent served over a baked brie or cream cheese, making it the centerpiece of your charcuterie board. Great glaze over chicken and ribs or addition to any hot sandwich or burger. Perfect combination of maple and spice that everyone will enjoy if you're willing to share. Yeah, if you're willing to share. I don't know if I'm willing to share yet. And then the pièce de résistance. Maple syrup. Maple syrup from Canada. Made in Canada. Product of Ontario. Oh my goodness. This is marked the Central Lake Ontario Conservation Authority. I think that's where she said she got all of this. Purple Woods, yeah. It's called Purple Woods. Central Lake Ontario Conservation's Purple Woods Maple Syrup Festival. So it's the Purple Woods is where she got this. Pure maple syrup. Oh my goodness. So much joy in this box. Thank you so much, Ronnie. You made my month, maybe my year, with all these goodies. I can't wait to stop talking so I can start sampling. That's right. Let's see, I'll just leave that right there. Thank you so much, so much. Very nice. Alright, so I'm trying to think if there's anything else I needed to tell you about the Blues Batik quilt. Here you see I have it bound. It's all bound up. I did do the scrappy binding. I had scrappy binding left over from the last quilt, and I just added to it and just went right on around this quilt. So that was perfect. That was perfect. Didn't take no time. I used Mark's new sewing machine that's ours. the Juki HZL blah blah blah. And the first time I did binding on it, and it was a dream. Yes, everything went by swimmingly with the binding on that machine. So Mark's getting ready to put out a sampler sew along here in a few days. I'm not sure when he's going to get the first video out, but it will be a block a week, I believe, and some other things along with it. But I really like the setting of it, so you could use it. I think it's 8-inch finished blocks, so it's not going to be a huge quilt to make. So if you want to do a sampler and do some simple blocks just to sharpen your skills, this is the one for you. The setting that it's in is interesting and pretty simple too. You know, we all just have to kind of face it. If you're going to put your blocks in any kind of setting, that setting is just as much work as all those blocks put together. I mean, unless you just put the blocks side by side and bind it up, you know, putting it into a setting with borders and more design and such, sashing, cornerstones, all that, it's going to take longer to get that quilt finished. You think you're done, you got your blocks done, but there's still a lot of work left to do. But you know what, that's the icing on top. That's what makes the quilts really stand out and gives us an opportunity to kind of personalize them as well with our own color choices and design choices along the way. So it's just part of all the quilty fun, isn't it? Alright, so let's look at the quilt of the week, and it is called Garden Party, and I think that's very appropriate for the time that we live in, at least in this hemisphere. Everything is blooming, the birds are active, the squirrels are running around crazy, chipmunks, rabbits, all kinds of birds on the bird feeders, and that's what this quilt is. Garden party. It's a garden party of all the critters that come around here, and maybe in your neck of the woods too. I've said neck of the woods twice today, haven't I? I'm starting to feel like Al Roker. Doesn't he say that? This quilt is 50 by 50, and it's made by Judith Craddock of Prattsville, New York. And here's what's said about it. Memories of time spent in her garden is what inspired Judith to design this quilt. Several birds and critters would come to visit the garden, and Judith added in some motifs to remember their visits. During the project, she used needle turn applique and embroidered hand details. Louise Clare did the quilting for the quilt. Judith showed the quilt in 4 of the 2023 AQS Quilt Week shows: Branson, Paducah, Grand Rapids, and Des Moines. So I saw this quilt in 2023 at Paducah. I sure did. It's very cute. Very, very cute. I love the viney leafiness going up towards the birdhouse and across, and all of the birds are just landing on the woody part of the stems there on the birdhouses, and so are the squirrels. You can't leave the squirrels out. They're always present. If the birds are there, they're there. And then down below we see the little chipmunk, a couple of rabbits, a snail, a couple of snails. And look at the hollyhock on the right in the pot there. Has a bluebird on the top of it. Love the little watering can in the middle, and the quilting that was done, I'm sure, was a custom job, and it is out of this world beautiful. Love this quilt. I could look at this all day long. And look at that border print she used. If you have any border prints, even if they're older, in your stash, think about getting those out and putting them around your medallion style quilt that you're doing. If you've got, like last week we had, on Friday we had, forget who sent it in, but the rooster that she worked on for a while, and it was all, what do they call it? Needle turn applique. And if you put that in a quilt in the middle, and then you want to put a border around it, what about one of these printed borders? Something like that. If you have some little motif that you've done, a collage quilt, or just a singular item in the center, just put that border fabric right around there. We forget about it sometimes, don't we? Betty had some in her stash, my mother-in-law, and I've been trying to think of a way to maybe use some of that. Not a lot, but she had a couple pieces. So there we go. More inspiration, more ideas to keep us going in our hobby. I read an article recently about how it's just a known fact that everybody should have some sort of a hobby, because it just really takes you away from the grind of the day or week or whatever, and it's just really good for your mental and physical health. And there again, Quilt Health 2025, if there's aspects of that you need to sharpen up on, take a look at that list again. Giving is one. We're doing our auction quilt, so you can participate in helping with the giving by spreading the word about the eBay auction. Also, you can take some of your own quilts and do eBay listings directly. The proceeds go directly to the Humane Society, and your own projects that you normally do for different organizations for donation. Keep that up, because that's really good for our soul as well. So that's part of keeping ourselves quilt healthy. All right, I think that's all I have for you this week. If anybody remembers anything that I said I wanted to mention in the past that I didn't, or if you sent me a question or a suggestion, feel free to send it again, just in case it's something you think there's a real need on the channel to mention. It could be a technique, it could be an event coming up, it could be some new fabric line or notion that's coming out that you've enjoyed that I need to talk about on here, I will. Also, I have signed a contract with Craftsy to do little commercials for them, so that will be coming up, and you will have an opportunity to get those patterns for that kit that we want to do. So keep a lookout on here for that, coming up pretty soon. I just need a little more guidance on what they want me to say and mention. I'm sure that's coming up really soon. So that's just some things going on. Next week we'll have our, well, this week that we're in, Wednesday we'll continue on with the pick and mix, the next section that we need to do for this week. We'll start on Friday. So if you don't have your blocks all together, you still have until this coming Friday to get that done. And then let's see, I'm trying to think, this coming week on Friday, yes, and then the following Monday I'll be here. The following Friday I'll probably have to do the Finish It Friday a little early because I'm going to be out of town on Friday, Saturday, and Sunday of not this coming weekend, but the next. So if you've been wanting to send something in for Finish It Friday, go ahead and do that sooner rather than later. And even if you don't see it this week, it'll probably be in the following weeks. When I'm not here, I'll probably make that video maybe Wednesday and edit it and have it scheduled to go on Friday because we're leaving on Thursday. We're taking our camper to where we're going, and so we leave a day early. Alright, I think that's it, and I think we're set to do some things in our sewing room this week. So if you haven't sewn for a while, maybe you've not been able to for physical reasons. I know some of you have mentioned to me in the comments that you had things going on and, you know, physically you just can't sew, but maybe you can just go sort through some of your stuff little by little, get a little more organized for when you do feel good enough to sew. And you know, just keep it here, that, you know, that's what you love to do, and you'll get back to it soon. But everybody else, if we're in a lull, go in there and pet the fabric, and that'll come back to you. The rest of us that have a million projects going at one time, all the time, I'm setting you free in your room right now to go get it done. Alright, or start something new. That's it for today. It's a lovely evening here, Sunday evening for me. You can see the sun shining in on me. I hope it's not making too much of a distraction. But have a wonderful Monday, a wonderful week. I'll see you back here on Wednesday. Alright, bye-bye.